Good morning, my dear students. I hope that you are all okay. You are doing good despite this pandemic. You are giving your time to study well, especially in our chemistry class. And I am so thankful that you are always there to listen carefully to our discussions. And our new lesson for today is about the kinetic molecular theory of matter. We have here three objectives. The first objective is that you are to understand the basic ideas about the kinetic molecular theory of matter. Second one is for you to recognize the different states of matter: the solids, the liquids, and of course the gases. And the third one is for you to describe the characteristics of matter. Are you now ready to uh, be engaged in our lesson? So I would like that everyone else will listen carefully for you to understand better our lesson for today. And I hope you are motivated to listen well, because after this you are going to do some sorts of activities and evaluation will follow as well. So I'd like to begin by asking you this question: what is matter? So in most of the chemistry books, they define matter as anything that has mass and occupies space. So matter is anything that has mass or weight, and they usually occupy a certain space. So right now with me, my dear students, I can show you some objects. So this is what do you call this? This is a soap, bathing soap or bath soap. This is used to whiten the skin for fairer complexion. I have here also with me my favorite one. I used to drink this perhaps 3 to 4 times a day, 4 cups of coffee a day. So this is granulated, and I usually prepare black coffee for me. So if somehow I'll be there in your home, I would be very happy that you will serve hot coffee for me, even without the coffee mate. But of course I have here with me a coffee mate, which others usually prefer to mix with the coffee and with sugar as well. And another one here that I have on the top of my table is the ferrous sulfate. Ferrous sulfate, I take this when I do not have enough iron in my body. So maybe you have a sickness called the anemia. You are going to take ferrous sulfate every day until you will be supplied with sufficient amount of iron in your body. If you also with me, my ball pen used to write things on top of my table, and when I note something, this I use. And another one is what they call this? It's a cloth clip. When you are going to put your clothes under the sun, you are going to clip it so that it will dry up easily. And another one that I have here on top of my table is, of course, I'm going to promote. If you want to use this in your kitchen, you're going to use dishwashing liquid, somewhat viscous, more viscous than water. And another thing class is, I have here with me the Sedea. Sedea is chemical that I usually add to the mixture for my dishwashing liquid. And another one here, if you don't feel proud or confident because your odor is not that good, you can use also a body spray with you. So I have just shown you, my dear students, various examples of objects that are significant in our lives, not just as students, but of course everywhere we can have those objects with us. So these sorts of things are examples of matter. The first objects that I've shown you, the first sulfate, salt, coffee mate, and coffee, they are all solid in form, while the Sidea, dishwashing liquid, and my favorite perfume or body spray, they are all in liquid form. And while I am talking here before you, I usually exhale a certain gas that is carbon dioxide, and for me to live in this world, to continue my life, I inhale an oxygen gas which is produced by the plants, that's at the plant at my back there. So class, there are various examples of objects, but they do differ in the way the molecules of these objects move. So in short, we have objects in the perspective on the way they move, how fast they move, whether they jiggle, they stay in one area, or they keep on moving. This is said to be the kinetic molecular theory aspect of matter. So, as the word implies, kinetic molecular theory, we are actually dealing with the movement of particles or molecules of various examples of matter. How fast they move, do they produce a pattern, or do the molecules constantly move, or are they moving in such a way that they produce a regular arrangement. So I know that this is somehow somewhat difficult to understand because you are not with me, but if I'm going to show you how this liquid flow and how this perfume is being sprayed, so you can see how fast the molecules move because there's a pressure in it while pressing the pressing holder. And so, my dear students, they differ actually on how they move. You are going to describe this matter, especially in the movement of their molecules. So, I repeat, the common or traditional definition of matter is anything that has mass and occupies a space. An example for this, another example for this is a car. Car would be said to be composed of matter. Why? Because car is anything, and it has a mass. It is actually heavier than the mass of a person. Heavier because somehow a car may weigh 2,500 kilograms. So car has a mass and it occupies a space in our garage. Chalk occupies space on top of the table. Coffee occupy space on top of the table or occupy space inside the bottle. So, in short, anything, my dear students, that contains mass and occupies space is a matter. And what we are going to dig deeper about this is the way the particles are being arranged. So, my dear students, we note that the particles in gas, they are actually well separated in this room. Gas is continuously moving. Oxygen gas is here, carbon dioxide gas is here, sometimes the smoke of the other house is here. And so we therefore know that the gaseous molecules or gas molecules are spread out. They move freely and constantly, and they are well separated. And of course, because when they move freely, their arrangement is not regular. So that is in a gas particle. How about in liquid particles? How close are they? So in liquid particles, they are close together, actually, like this, closer together, but with no regular arrangement. Why? Because the liquid is arranged inside the bottle, and when you remove the bottle, the liquid inside freely flows. So when it freely flows, we can therefore say that it has no regular arrangement. The arrangement will be based on the container. So when the container is somewhat cylindrical or rectangular or oval, the shape is oval also, and so the arrangement is different. While in a solid, the solid particles are densely packed, they are tightly packed, dikit, and it is usually in a regular pattern. So other questions, my dear students, about my simple discussions regarding the movement of molecules, the arrangement of molecules of matter. So we'll continue if you don't have any questions. So to note further or to discuss further about the particles, the particles in a gas, they usually vibrate. Why they vibrate? Because sometimes they bump one another, they collide one another. There is what we call collision. So another theory here enters, the collision theory of the matter. And so because when they collide, and the impact will be vibration, and this vibration is caused by the high speed. While in liquid, they also vibrate. Of course, we do believe that they vibrate and move about, but they slide past each other. They slide past each other. They do not bump one another. And in solid, they just jiggle, and generally they do not move from one place to another. So they are steady. They don't move. That's why you can see this. It's not moving unless someone is touching it. And this is discussing physics. This object will not move unless an exact opposite force will be acted upon this object. Then this object will not move. So liquids and solids, my dear students, are often referred to condensed phases because the particles are very close together. So again, liquids and solids are often referred to as condensed phases because the particles are very close together. Now, note class that we can only understand better about this one when we are going to do a certain activity. Maybe this is supposed to be done inside the classroom, but since we are in an online or modular approach or blended learning, so my dear students, I just want you to do a simple activity which I'm going to send to your messenger, and then after that you're going to present your output. If you are chosen to present, then I'm giving you 2 to 3 minutes to present your maybe your output or the result of your experiment or the activity itself. Okay, so now I'll be sending you the entire activity to be posted in your messenger. But before doing that, my dear student, you have to follow the rules and regulations of precautionary measures in conducting simple experiments or experimental setups at home. So remember to observe the rules that I taught you while performing the activity, and this activity is good for 20 minutes, and afterwards you're going to present your output. Are there questions? Masyado ba tayo mabilis? So kung wala nang katanungan ay atin na pong tingnan ang ating messenger at nandun na po ang ating activity. Okay, so class, it's time for you to present your output. Anyone to present his or her output? Maybe we try Elmira, and to be followed by Osmia, and another to present will be Kyle, and the fourth one to present will be Jerry, and the last to present will be Eru or Brian. So now it's your turn, and I'll be listening. Okay, assuming that the presentation is done, so let's now have to generalize what transpired a while back. So my dear students, what is matter again? Who would like to define matter? Anyone? So if I am to repeat, matter is anything that has mass and occupies space. And if we are going to describe the molecules of matter, especially in solids, in liquids and gases, they do differ in various patterns. The particles in a gas vibrate. Why? Because there is what we call collision of particles, because the particles move constantly. They somehow bump one another and they move freely at high speeds, while in the liquid they also vibrate and they move about and slide past each other. And the last one, in solids, they also vibrate, but we describe this as simply jiggling, because generally there is no movement from one place to another. And that's about the concept or the ideas, basic ideas about the kinetic molecular theory of matter. So are there questions, my dear students? If there are no questions, then I believe you are very much ready to have our evaluation. So again, I'll be sending you our evaluation for today. If you cannot do it today, you can just submit it until 12 midnight. and all lead answers will be accepted, but the corresponding deductions will be